Spider-Man Web Slingers is, in a word, strange. No, not him. The ride is popular enough to warrant a virtual queue system similar to Rise of the Resistance, but critical and fan reception to the ride hasn't really been all that positive. Yet the standby line is always busy, even with the virtual queue system in place, and boarding groups sell out very, very quickly in the morning when Disney California Adventure opens. So what is the deal with Spider-Man Web Slingers? I aim to answer that question in this video and give you my personal thoughts on the ride. Is it yet another lame opening day D-ticket attraction for a new, state-of-the-art, really amazing, super immersive land that just opened up, like, you know, how we saw before in Galaxy's Edge? Or is it an immersive shooting gallery style attraction that is a nice complement to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout and the Avengers e-ticket, you know, whenever that opens? Or is it some weird, messed up combination of both? I'm not even sure, and I've been on the ride. Is Spider-Man Web Slingers in Avengers Campus at California Adventure a masterpiece, or is it a big old giant disgusting mess? From the very moment it was announced, Web Slingers had sort of an uphill battle ahead of it. The announcement of Avengers Campus, or what we only knew back then as the Marvel-themed land of California Adventure, stated that the ride that would end up becoming Web Slingers was a way to experience the gravity-defying feats of Spider-Man. People thought it was going to be some sort of thrill attraction. And I can't really blame them for thinking that. Disney did say it was a way to experience gravity-defying feats. Little did we know it was just going to be Spider-Man doing the gravity-defying feats and not us. Then reports came out that Spider-Man was going to be a shooting gallery style ride, similar to Toy Story Mania or Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Side note, why are both of the shooting gallery attractions at Disneyland Toy Story themed? Does Imagineering just love shooting some sort of projectile at Buzz and Woody and the gang that we just don't really understand? Either way, now we have two Toy Story themed shooting gallery attractions and a Spider-Man themed one. Then came the announcement that it wasn't going to be a physical set shooting gallery like Astro Blasters, but instead a screen-based one like Toy Story Mania, and again, people were upset. I wanted to remain optimistic, but a shooting gallery screen ride isn't exactly gravity-defying to me, personally. And so I think you'll find me repeating throughout this video that Spider-Man Web Slingers is both a great attraction and a mediocre attraction at the same time, and it's strange to ride. No, not him! So let's get the good out of the way so we can get to the bad, and then maybe the ugly, and then we can kind of circle back around the good, because I don't like ending my videos on downers, unless that was that last video I made. Sorry, guys.
You have a great time on your visit to the Worldwide Engineering Brigade Open House. And now, our project lead, the brilliant, Peter Parker.
Hey, what's up? I'm Peter Parker. And here at Web, we got access to some pretty awesome tech projects. Vibranium from Wakanda, or this crazy alien juice stuff. We have Kim Particles and Star Tech. It all helps us develop really cool stuff, like these spider bots, for example. Check it out, they have this really cool self-replicating feature. Because it's awesome. Buddy, you can stop doing that now. But anyway, you guys are here today to help us test the Web Slinger vehicle. Using onboard tech, you will be able to sling webs just like my buddy Spider-Man.
Kind of. I think the most impressive thing about Web Slingers, the thing that really amazed me, was the ride vehicle and how it picks up all of your motions when you're actually slinging webs with Spider-Man. There's no blaster or cannon like on the Toy Story shooting galleries. You're using your hands, or if you want to, you can use the special apparatus you buy from the gift shop like I did because I'm a Disney shill. And I know you can't see because it's very blurry, but it picks up your movements very well. It's super responsive and it goes where you aim your hand, which is very impressive. I thought it was going to be some Xbox Connect to your motion capture, but no, it was really, really responsive. So some really big kudos to the Imagineers for that. It's well done. And it's not just slinging webs to hit targets like it is in the Toy Story rides. This time you can pull stuff to the side, you can hit levers, you can do a lot more than just hit targets. The ride knows when you're trying to pull something down off of a shelf. So that opens the door to even more secrets and more ways to score even more points than in the older rides like Mania and Astro Blasters. And I'm honestly pretty convinced at this point that there are some secrets in the ride that haven't been discovered yet, because it seems like there's so many targets and different levers that you can hit. It's impressive. The pre-show, which I showed you already, is alright. It's a screen pre-show similar to Rise of the Resistance and that one Harry Potter ride at Universal. You know me, I do not like screens, but Tom Holland really killed it because he always does. I just wish it would have been Spider Spider-Man we saw in the pre-show, like in the concept art, and maybe even a full animatronic, similar to what we saw in Stitch's Great Escape. That pre-show was really cool, and I think an animatronic would go a long way in helping the ride, because there's not a ton of animatronics in there. And when I say not a ton, I don't think there's a single one. The story of the ride is the usual Disney stuff. Spider-Man's showing off the Spider-Bots, something goes wrong, and you have to help Spider-Man take them down. Because everyone can sling webs now, and you need to go throughout all of Avengers Campus and help take down the Spider-Bots, which I think is a really cool point of the story. You do go through Avengers Campus in the different ride scenes. Sure, you go through the web building, but then you also go through the Collector's Fortress from Mission Breakout. You go to the Avengers e-ticket building, and then through a special PIM laboratory. It's pretty cool. It's like a virtual tour of the land, even though when I looked at the concept art, I thought the ride would be going outside for some portion of it, but that never ended up coming to fruition, even though that would have been awesome. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of things I really do like about this ride, even though they are compounded by a lot of things I don't like about this ride, namely the screens. I don't know how in the world they would pull it off, but come on, it's Imagineering. They could have pulled it off. But a physical set shooting gallery for Spider-Man would have been amazing. It would have lessened the backlash that Disney got for creating yet another screen ride in the same vein as Toy Story Mania. Although Toy Story Mania is still very popular, so maybe it was a good idea? You know what, I'm transitioning now, let's go ahead and transition into it. Let's go to the bad, alright? Here's the things I did not like about the attraction, and I'm not just gonna say screens 100 times, even though that's what I could say, and it would kind of get the point across. Remember before when I said there's a lot of room to put Easter eggs and secret power-ups in the ride because there's just so much to shoot at and so much to see? That can either be a benefit or a hindrance, because there is just so much going on in every single scene that it's kind of hard to keep track of what's happening. For example, when you're in the Collector's Fortress, Spider-Man gets locked inside a cage and you have to shoot certain areas of the screen to free him from the cage, but most people don't notice this. I mean, I didn't even really notice it until the very end, and I'm not sure if Spider-Man gets freed from the cage every time. I'm assuming he does, but it was really hard to keep track of what was going on. The AI, Sharon, was yelling over the intercom the whole time, and Spider-Man was telling you what to do, but it was a little too much at times. Especially when you bring other effects into it, like the repulsors or the electroweb that you get from the Ride DLC. Ride DLC also. Now, I made a video on this subject a week or so before Avengers Campus opened, asking if it was really pay to win, and I can say with the utmost certainty that it is not pay to win. If you're worried about Spider-Man Web Slingers being pay to win, do not. I purchased one of the Web Slinger attachments to try it out on the actual attraction, and I did not score the highest in my ride vehicle. In fact, the older gentleman next to me scored way higher than I did, and he did not have a Web Slinger attachment. Maybe he knew more about the ride than I did, or maybe I was just terrible and I was only slinging with one hand for a lot of the time because I was filming it. Either way, you do not have to have a web slinger attachment to do good on the ride. You can do fine and even better in some cases without one. It's really just a $60 add-on for Disney shills like me who like having web shooter toys to play with. Also, another complaint I have about the attraction is that it seems like it's over too soon. There are 4 galleries you move through: the Web Building, Pym's Test Kitchen, the Collector's Fortress, and the Avengers Quinjet Building, and then the ride is over. It's a very, very quick experience. I would say quicker than Astro Blasters and Midway Mania. I feel like if they added one more gallery, you would have gotten your money's worth, so to say. I know you're not paying for the ride specifically, but you would have gotten your money's worth. I think adding a Doctor Strange Sanctum level would have been really cool. That way you could mix in some magical creatures, maybe even some magical webs into the ride, because the Sanctum's a really neat area of the Avengers Campus land that's not included in this sort of virtual tour that Spider-Man takes you on. Maybe even take us through Cars Land. I don't know, that'd be a fun way to break the fourth wall. Maybe a little bit too much, but I think that'd be funny. Probably the Sanctum. We'll just stick with Doctor Strange's Sanctum. Yes, that is you. You're right this time. And here I go complaining again. People, there are screens in this attraction, and not only are there screens, like I say, screens are okay to add to an attraction like in Rise of the Resistance, but they are 3D screens. You have to wear glasses for this attraction. Wearing glasses for rides never sat well with me. Maybe this is just my stupid eyes, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this is probably just me, but the ride never appears clear for me. It's always blurry in some way. Even rides like Flight of Passage, where you're wearing 3D glasses and it's just a movie, they always look blurry to me. Maybe it's the angle I'm at, maybe I'm just an idiot, I'm probably just got some stupid eyes, but wearing glasses in every single attraction, save one, always takes me out of it. That's why I really appreciate the 2.5D technology they use in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's the same sort of thing with the 3D effects, but you're not wearing glasses. And literally every surface in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is either a screen or a projection, but it works because it's all a screen or a projection. You're entering the world of a cartoon, and so screens work a little bit better, whereas in the Marvel universe, you are a real person. Spider-Man is a real person on a screen, so it just looks more fake. Does that make any sense? We're used to looking at cartoons on screens, so screens in Runaway Railway is fine, but Spider-Man's a human being, and so a screen version of Spider-Man is a bit uncanny. I'm getting sidetracked talking about my hatred of screens again. I just don't like wearing glasses. I hate 3D glasses on every single attraction I've ever used them on. Except one. So, closing arguments. If I were to compare this ride to any of the other ones at Walt Disney World or Disneyland, it would be Toy Story Mania. It's most closely comparable to Toy Story Mania. A 3D screen-based shooting gallery ride. The accuracy that the ride vehicle picks up your arm movements, where you're aiming, and reflects that in the game itself is amazing. Tom Holland does an amazing job. I love Spider-Man, and I love how it's a sort of virtual tour of Avengers Campus. You do not need the fancy wrist jewelry that I bought to do good on the attraction. You can do just fine, and sometimes even better, because I apparently stink at slinging webs without it. But on the other hand, Web Slingers is everything I hate about some modern Disney attractions. It's all screens, all 3D glasses, and no substance, not a single animatronic anywhere to be found. Unless you count the spider bots at the end, but they're more figures than animatronics, I would say. Web Slingers continues Disney's trend of opening up a brand new, amazing land, and Avengers Campus is amazing. It continues the trend of opening a lesser attraction with the land and then waiting for a bigger one for Phase 2. They did it with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and they're doing it here again. Although having an e-ticket built into the land right when it opened with Mission Breakout did help the case a little bit. There are 2 existing attractions in Avengers Campus, even if we have had the chance to go on one for a couple years at this point. If Mission Breakout wasn't open and wasn't ready right now, I would say that Avengers Campus sort of is, it leaves me wanting more. And it does. That massive Avengers HQ building leaves me really excited for the Quinjet attraction to open. When talking about the new parts of Avengers Campus that opened in June, Spider-Man isn't all that amazing. It's not really an anchor for the land. Mission Breakout is more of an anchor than Spider-Man is. Is Disney opening up a land with only 2 attractions ready a good thing or a bad thing? It really comes down to the person. Maybe they shouldn't open the Avengers Quinjet attraction until it's ready. Or maybe it's just a money-saving technique that Disney's using to keep hype for the land going over a longer period of time. Oh look, Avengers Campus is open, but there's only 2 rides. One of them's been open for a while and one of them's a bit lackluster, but just you wait, guys. Oh, just you wait for the Avengers Quinjet ride. That way we can have a whole other media cycle for that ride alone, just like Rise of the Resistance. But when it comes down to Web Slingers alone, by itself, in a vacuum, I'm a little disappointed. But that is to say, a little disappointed. There are redeeming factors of this ride, and I think the re-rideability aspect, as with all shooting gallery attractions, is going to be massive. And when Avengers Campus, in its full and complete form, has been open for a couple years, it will be a nice addition, a nice accent to the land with Mission Breakout and the Avengers Quinjet. A nice ride to go on in addition to the other 2 that's just sort of a nice cherry on top to the rest of your day. I think having the boarding groups and virtual queue help build it up to be sort of something like Rise of the Resistance when this is very much not. So when you visit Avengers Campus, keep your expectations in check, but also have fun, because it is a very fun ride. Not one for everyone, but not one that I think Disney was poised to be the main centerpiece of Avengers Campus. That one hasn't opened yet. And now I've officially begun to ramble. Everyone, have you been to Avengers Campus? And if you have, more specifically, have you been on Web Slingers, and what did you think? Did you use the wrist strap add-ons like I did, or did you just forego that for a free ride experience? I really want to know what you guys think of Web Slingers in the comments down below, because it's sort of its own unique thing. At least with Rise of the Resistance, it was an amazing genre-defining, theme park-changing experience, whereas Web Slingers, you know, is a shooting ride. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and in the meantime, I think I have a date with Destiny. And by Destiny, I mean a $60 add-on that I purchased for Web Slingers that I just like to play with because I'm a man-child. Apparently you can use these things on the ride, who knew? Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed this most recent entry in the Masterpiece or Mess saga. Did you agree with what I said? Do you think it's just like very middle of the road okay attraction, or do you absolutely hate it? Because I know there are a lot of people out there who absolutely hate Web Slingers. If you're interested in getting early access to videos like this one, head over to my Patreon, linked in the description down below, to get access to video, audio, sometimes full videos before they go live. Even just $1 gets you access to most of the perks, so if you want to help support the channel and keep me afloat, please head over there, and even just $1 makes a massive difference. You can also follow me at Offhand Disney on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I am Offhand Disney on all of them, so it makes it a little easier to remember. And of course, I cannot forget, but guys, come on, you have to give a listen to the Foolish Mortals podcast. We've currently debuted Season 2. It's much improved, and it's amazing. It's a fun time to get down. Everything is amazing in this video. Is it because it's a Spider-Man video? That's probably why. I get to sit down with Disney Dan and talk to him about the Haunted Mansion. Now, if that's not cool, I don't know what is. Please be sure to give it a listen. I will also link that one in the description for you guys, and I think that about brings us to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it more so than my last one. I'm sorry, I can't stand Star Tours. Tomorrowland deserves better, and I will see you all in the next video, whatever that may be. Goodbye.